Hello guys, my name is Amara Okonkwo and I'm the lead coach at Untitled NG. Today's webinar actually, which we tag the ILCS Novice to Smasher. ILCS Novice to Smasher. It's actually a webinar that takes you on the journey from knowing nothing completely about the IELTS test to knowing a whole lot about it. And in fact, going on to excel in the test in your first attempt. So I'd like to join every one of us. Just type in the comment section your name, what you do, and where you're joining us from. Myself, I'm here in Georgia, the country of Georgia, somewhere between Europe and Asia. Georgia, it's a small country, so I'm not in the USA actually. I'm not in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually in Georgia, a country between, it's actually in the Caucasus area of Eurasia. So that's where I'm at now. So I'd like you to tell me where you're joining us from. Please, if you're in Nigeria, please type the state. Tell us, okay, I'm a medical doctor. I'm in Lagos. My name is this, that. So just type in the comment section. You never know who might be joining. You never know the connections that you might be making on this platform. So welcome, guys. Welcome. So I'll also be wishing you a happy Independence Day and a happy new month, guys. This year has flown so fast. Like, I can recall how the 1st of January was for me. And now, guys, we're in the 10th month. So a lot has happened this year. So for me, I'll say that I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful for all the blessings of the year, for all the milestones, for all the good things that have been happening in every single month, down to this 10th month. Guys, it's been wonderful, and I'm so grateful that God has kept us thus far. So, guys, what I'm thankful for, type in the comment section what I'm thankful for. Wish yourself a happy new month, a happy Independence Day to Nigeria. So, guys, it's so good to have you here. Like, finally, I think we just decided to do this webinar in, I would say, between space of 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. So I just said that it would be something good to do, right? Because today is a public holiday, though it's on a weekend. I know that for many of us in Nigeria, it will be moved on to Monday. So many people will not be going to work on Monday. So that's a good one. That's a good one for us guys. So it is like a gift from us at Ielts and Pibos NG to every one of us. We are here giving free information, and we are trying to help as many people as possible that have no inkling idea of what the IELTS is all about. So like, okay, for instance, you have an idea, okay, that you need to write an English proficiency test, and someone told you need to write IELTS. You just do not have any idea. Like, you've been hearing lots of information. You already have fears about the test. Like, some people have told you that they've written it, that test is very difficult. You need to write it up to 3 times. So it's all those kind of things. So we are here. We want to demystify what it actually is. So now I'll begin to tell you that before you get on this journey of writing your IELTS test, please have a valid international passport, because that is what you shall be using to register for the test, and also your only means of identification on the test day. So if you do not have one, go and start the process. Go and start the process. Or if you have one and it has expired, go and renew it. Start the process of renewal, guys, so it doesn't get in the way of your registration and eventual writing of this test. That aside, another thing I would like to talk about is the fact that this test comes in basically 2 formats. Now, there are more than that, but I know that for many of us here who are looking at either relocation, they're looking at relocating or studying abroad. These are the basic 2 reasons, right, for many of us here. So we are only going to dwell on these 2 types of tests. Every other one applies to people that already have their spouses, like the Ielts life skills A and B and all that. Those ones are for the people that want to join their spouses outside the country, in countries like UK or Canada. So we're not looking at that one. that want to, we're looking at those that want to either relocate to study or to work abroad. Now, is it that if you are looking to study abroad, you know that you are going to apply for the general Ielts test, and then if you are applying to a school and they ask you to send, most times the school won't even indicate it. They'll just tell you Ielts. So some people do not know. Some people just hurry up and go on to sign up for the general test. So take note of that. Now, that aside, I want to tell you where this whole journey started from, why I happened to be a tutor for the Ielts test. In 2018, a decision was made between myself and my husband that I should take the test in order to begin our process, Canadian Express Entry process. So I was the one to write the test, and I was expecting our first child. I was already 6 to 7 months pregnant. So I really wanted to excel in this test. So this was my why. My why for achieving a high score was, the reason why I wanted a high score was that I didn't want to repeat the test. I didn't want to rewrite the test. I wanted to succeed in the test. In that my first attempt, because I felt that when a baby comes, that it could be difficult for me to concentrate and achieve a high score. So I was like, a baby is on the way. I need to get this test out of the way. So that was my why. So guys, what is your why? That's one of the things you should be asking yourself. What is your why? Why do you want to write this test? Okay, none of us, you want to go to school, you want to relocate, to get a job there. So for me, I think something else that can be your reason would be that you do not want to pay for this test twice. I don't know, for some Nigerians, they don't mind spending money, but the sort of person that I'm like, these developed countries are getting money from us, as in, okay, this is outside, this is just my opinion, my perspective on the whole issue. So I just feel that, see, as a developing country, like many developed countries are already getting our resources at chicken change rates. They're already getting our resources at a basic rate, at a very cheap rate. For instance, crude oil, because there's no refinery in Nigeria, we export it to them and they refine it in their own crude oil and sell it back to us. So they're the ones making the gains out of us. So I always feel that whenever we want to, we're looking at traveling abroad or going to work or study in this country, then you should maximize your resources while doing it. You should be economical with it, because redoing the test a number of times or having to repeat a process with them is as if you are. Now, you're just giving them your money and all that. Like, they've done so much to the economy as a whole. Then you as an individual, you have this within your control, right? You have this within your control. So just make your transactions with them to be economical. That's what I just feel. So I just feel that every single one of us should be able to write this test once and for all. That is my mentality, and that is my drive to this whole class, to this whole my whole business, I would say, right? The business of getting people ready for the test. So that's the whole thing. So where are we going to start from? I would like to tell you that everything begins from your mind. So guys, what is your mindset concerning this test? What is your goal? Do not just go in for this test with the mindset that, okay, as Nigerians say, no, just see as it did be, no, just try, all this kind of thing. No, guys, that's not a mantra. My mantra is achieve at least an overall bound score of 8.0 in my first sitting, your first sitting. That's my mantra. That's what I'm telling you. And guys, it's possible. It begins in your mind. See, when you have a goal, it's going to affect every other thing you do concerning this test. Yes, it's going to affect the quality. Let me tell you something. It's going to affect the quality of practice that you do. It's going to affect the type of practice that you do. Yes, if you're someone that is determined to achieve a high score, what it's going to do to you subconsciously is that whenever you are practicing, or it will put you in the it will give you this mindset that you need to put in effort, right? You're looking at getting a very high score. Then it means that whenever you're practicing and you, for instance, you're practicing the listening and reading, you're practicing the listening and reading, at the end of the day, you check the answers and it was not something that was reasonable for you because you already have a goal. You know that you then know that, oh, I need to put in more efforts, right? That's how it works, guys. So if I saw a person that let's just try, let's just see how it's going, let's just try anything. Whenever I practice and you check your scores and it doesn't amount to something rhythm, you just be like, this thing self, all this kind of, you just be like, all those kind of thing. You just be like, oh, it's true. They said it's difficult to how am I going, all this kind of thing. But if you're the type of person that you have a mindset that, see, I want this high score, and you practice, you see that it gave you a 6.0, you say, no, I need to do it again. I need to know what I didn't do right. And that's how it is. So having that goal in mind will give you the mindset of to push you to do more, to practice more, to prepare more. So guys, have a goal in mind. What do you want to score? What is your dream score? Do you want to have an 8.5? Do you want to have 7.0, 7.0? Do you want to have 6.5? Is that what the school told you? The school told you that you should have at least 6.5 in all the 4 parts. So have that in mind. Have a goal in mind right from the beginning. Yep. And then the next one will be to have a timetable. Now, there are 4 parts of the test. There's the listening, there's this reading, and then writing, and finally the speaking. These 4 parts of the test, you need to, sorry guys. Sorry about that. So you have to dedicate time to these 4 parts, to the 4 parts of the test. So there's nothing like, oh, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm not going to do anything there, I'm just going to focus at one other part. Oh, I know how to speak fluently, I know how to pronounce words, I know how to speak phonetics and all that, I won't practice speaking. No. Let me tell you why. See, all 4 parts of the test are very important. So having a timetable would help you to apportion a reasonable amount of time to these 4 parts of the tests. And see, I want to tell you a secret. See, in these 4 parts of the test, these 2, listening and reading, you have a lot of control, like objective control over them, over the results that you can get in your listening and reading. Why? Why do I say that? There are 2 parts that when I give you recommended and relevant sites or resources to work with to practice these 2 parts of the test, you see that you can actually check your scores. Whenever I practice, you can easily check your scores. You can check your answers. You can put yourself in a particular band score. You can know the band score where your total score, where it falls after practicing any listening test or any reading test. You can easily place yourself in the band score when you practice these ones. But for the speaking and writing parts, those ones are kind of subjective. Why do I say that? They're subjective in that even when you practice on your own, or when you practice on your own, you can't actually place yourself. You can place yourself, oh, that this is band score, band 7 speaking, this is band 8 speaking, or this is a band 8 writing, or this is a band 9 writing, or band 6 writing. You can't easily tell yourself. Why? Because you are not an examiner. You are not an out examiner. Do you understand? So you need to have a timetable to dedicate to this 4 parts of the test. Now, how can you even have a timetable when you do not have relevant resources to work with? It takes me to the next point, guys. You need to have a relevant arsenal, more like an arsenal of Ielts resources that are relevant. Do you understand? Now, how do you get, now the question now lies in, how do you get these relevant resources. You can get them online. You can Google for Ielts. You can Google for all these resources online. That's the truth. So when you find resources to work with, credible resources to work with, you can then apportion them, put them in your timetable. Okay, today I'm going to practice listening for 2 hours. I'm going to practice reading for 2 hours, so on and so forth. And then you work with that. Now, I would recommend that if you are trying to get a high score, if you are trying to get a high score like 8.0, 8.5, I would encourage you to have a plan for 3 months. Yes, you can dedicate 3 months to preparing for a test. So you can even decide to register for that test 3 months before that time. Yes, you can actually register for that test 3 months ahead. Now, registration is not compulsory, but there's a reason why, and I'll tell you soon. Now, you can decide to dedicate the first month to practicing all 4 parts of the test with a tutor or a coach. I'll also tell you why I need a coach. Then, the second and third month, you can use it to then practice on your own. There's something, the reason why I would say that it's good for you to register early is because when you register on the British Council website, when you register on their website, you're given access to some practice materials. So that will be an added advantage for you, like further practice materials for you to work with, right? And then, what I would encourage you to work with a coach in your first month. The coach will reduce your journey for you. That's the truth about it. I said you can check on for relevant practice materials. Yes, you can check online. But the truth is that the resources can be overwhelming and confusing and also conflicting. In my ebook, How to Score 8.0 in Ielts, I wrote about that at the very beginning. This information from experience and from many other people that have met me, like, it can be overwhelming and confusing. Coach A might say maybe a person's website or a video you saw somewhere online might tell you do this, do that. This is the formula to work with. Some other person might tell you another thing, and at the end of the day, be like, what should I even? At the end of the day, you feel as if you still do not know anything. It's still vague to you. Now, a coach who has written the test, who has gotten a good result, and who has gone to teach many others how to excel in this test, and those people also pass the test. That coach is someone that would reduce the journey, the length of your preparation for you. That's just the truth. The credible resources, relevant resources that you should work with, the coach will be providing with that. The coach would also be assessing your writings, the things you get to write, your essay and your letters. Okay, I'll talk about the breakdown of these 4 parts of it, but the coach can practice your speaking with you. The coach can also help you check the things that you've written in the writing part of the test. Now, for the listening and reading, the coach can guide you on the tips and strategies that works best and particular types of questions, how you should tackle them. The coach can help you with that because, one, he or she has written the test and they passed it. They have an amazing result. And then they also have many people that they have taught who also have achieved awesome results. So that's the reason why you need a coach, actually. If you want to save time, want to save your money, yes, save your money. Yeah, because I don't know, there's this saying, penny wise, pound foolish, like you're trying to save a penny, right? You're trying to say, okay, this coach is charging you a particular fee to teach you, and you do not want to pay that coach that penny, right? You're trying to save your pennies. But at the end of the day, I've seen many people now. I'm not boasting, like I'm not just making this up. I actually see it. Some people are saying, okay, your fee is high and all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to pay. and they go on to write it themselves. I see many of them coming back, telling me they've gone to written the test and they didn't achieve a particular score. And now they're now coming back to sign up with the coach. Now they've wasted the first test and now they're still coming back to pay. Understand? And then they'll have to sign up for the exam again. Yes, for every time you need to write that test, you need to pay again. And now, as at the last time I checked, is around 83 or 85, ranging from 83 to 85,000 naira. That's the fee for the test. And the fee keeps going up. The more inflation bites into the naira, the more the fee keeps going up. Who knows? Maybe by next year, it could hit 90K or 100K. Right? So you'd rather get a coach that will just shorten the journey, show you what you need to do, give you what to work with, and follow you up, help you check the things you've written, correct you, guide you on how best to answer certain questions, right? So that's the reason why you need to work with the coach or join a community that would guide and support you. That's what I would recommend. And that is what works for me. Yes, remember I told you at the beginning that, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but when I decided to go for that test, I knew I wanted to excel in that test. Okay, I'm educated, I have a BSc, right? So I went to the university, I have an idea of English, I speak English in my everyday. So like I knew that I can prepare with the resources I have, but because I knew that I did not want to repeat the test again, I just said I was going to get a coach, right? So even though I didn't get that much value from the coach, but it gave me an idea, it gave me a sense of direction and a kind of checklist on the things that I need to do, right? So it gave me a sense of direction and a sense of accountability. Like I had classes certain days, so I needed to show up, I needed to be present, I needed to submit assignments. So that was what it does for us. Because I know many of us are working, we're busy, a lot of things. See how fun it is. You're trying to escape the whole rat race in Nigeria. You're trying to escape the hardship and the difficulties, like living in a country where electricity is an issue, transportation, you have to sort out your transportation, you need to sort out your security, you need to do many things for yourself, and on one person it is stressful. So you're trying to escape the stress, and yet you're trying to escape a certain job and a certain environment, and the Ielts is just one of the many steps to achieving that goal, right? So why should you allow the difficulties on a daily basis to stop you from achieving, from, how I put it, why should you allow the difficulties that you're trying to escape to stop you from the goal that you're trying to achieve? Am I making sense? Do you understand? So even though your job is always going to be in the way, the things you get to do on a daily basis will always be a distraction for you. Guys, get a coach, get a support community that will help you achieve your goal of getting a high Ielts score. Why is this high Ielts score? Why is it important? If you're going to be going through the Canadian Express Entry, you know that there's a points-based system where you have to accumulate points from different things, such as your work experience,